Mute. It's Friday night, and we don't need the lights just yet, but we're about to get ready on Monday night. I don't know why I said it was Friday. I guess I was always super focused for the start of a new series, but instead, it's the start of a new week. Tobin Moran gets the opening role for today's game for the Spartans. The Warner Royals from NAIA play come to town for a nice early week matchup. The Spartans are coming off of a 3-game win streak last weekend against Palm Beach Atlantic, and they are hoping to keep the good times rolling before a big series on the road against Embry-Riddle next weekend. It is country night here at Tampa, and there were some fun things on display for fans, notably some free rally towels. If you were there at the game, if you're listening from your dorm, well, why don't you stop on down? I think we might still have one or two lying around. Let's give you the Warner Royals starting lineup as we begin. It'll be Gabriel Rodriguez leading off, followed by Danny Garcia. Batting third, Genzel Figueroa. Batting fourth, J.D. Swarbrick. Batting fifth, Patty Smith. Batting sixth, Adriel Torres-Gonzalez. Batting seventh, Evan Ledoux. Batting eighth, Timothy Dunn. And Samuel Blanco bats ninth. First pitch time is 6:01 p.m. and Moran fires for strike one. Swing and a miss out of Rodriguez to open the day. Defensively, Tampa maintaining their same order, and they're also maintaining their same non-weekend starter in Tobin Moran, as he'll miss inside to make it 1-1. Moran's had a few appearances on the mound this season. They've all been in these midweek roles for his 3 starts. 2 chances out of the bullpen this year, too, as this one's popped up. Should be out number 1. Woodburn gets it. After this opening start today, however, expect Moran to return to the bullpen in full force, with Sammy Beer still sidelined for the time being. Coach Urso is needing some new players to fill in high-leverage roles, and Moran projects to be one of those guys this weekend. This start will get him some extra reps as we continue. Urso has mentioned he's been impressed with Tobin Moran as the count goes 1-0 to Danny Garcia.
So for this, I think all we have to do is, if there's a runner, and then...
Swing and a miss. Tight slider inside for the strike. 1-1 to the DH for Warner. On the year, Garcia is hitting .286. He's gone yard once with 7 RBIs. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Looking for a second out, looking for another strikeout. Moran has fanned 14 in 14 innings. On the corner, but just outside. 2-2 to Garcia. The lefty stays alive as we continue the top of the first. Just outside again. That'll bring the count to 3-2 now. Figueroa's on deck. Payoff pitch from Moran. Swing and a miss. 2 down, and it's Moran's first strikeout of the day to bring up Genzel Figueroa. And the Royals will need him to get on board to get the offense going. Moran gets set. Outside, ball 1. Figueroa also a strong start to the season. Slugging .404, he's tied for the team lead with 2 home runs on the year. Also has picked up a triple. And that one almost has the distance to be a 3rd home run. If it was about 100 feet further back, that'll be a shallow fly ball for books. Tobin Moran with a quick start to the game. Tampa's offense will try to convert. An injury return will be the big storyline for tonight's starter for the Royals when we come back in the bottom of the first. And we're back here at U Tampa, and the warm-up continues for Jeffrey Almanzar. But before we talk about Almanzar, let's give you your Spartans starting 9. Not a lot of changes from previous games. Jordan Evans leads off, Braden Woodburn batting second, Gunnett Carlson batting third, Joander Irigoyen fourth, Jake Books fifth, Javi Soto sixth, Nick Pereira seventh, Luke Fiker eighth, Jesse Ponce ninth. Notably, Pereira in the starting lineup. He's been the 1B behind Irigoyen for the catcher this season. Irigoyen getting the rep at DH today. And it'll be Pereira continuing to get some reps coming back from his hamate fracture to start the season. Almanzar also is coming off of an injury. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Rouse before the game started, and he mentioned that Almanzar looked really good in the fall. He was someone who was projected to become the ace of the staff, but an injury sidelined him for the start of the season, and now 30 games in, he is ready to go for his first pitch of 2026. Evans takes it deep to left field. And it's gone. Or not. Evans is going to go 3. That one looked like it might have cleared the fences, but Evans will certainly be satisfied with a leadoff triple. A tough ball to field for Rodriguez out and left. Almanzar has not been given an easy foe for his first test of 2026. The defending national champions here in D2, and still a top 3 team in the nation, the Tampa Spartans. And that first swing from Evans certainly proved it. Here's Braden Woodburn. Strike 1. Coach Rouse mentioned for Almanzar, he's had great pitch ability. He showcased that in the fall. He did good in team scrimmages. He did great against his own team in practices. It's the first time Rouse has had a chance to be with this Warner side, being a brand new coach for the Lions, or for the Royals. And while he's looked good on paper, he's also mentioned he has no idea what to expect out of Almanzar. But obviously I know Jeff and Coach Rouse are hoping for the best for this first outing of the year. That'll give Tampa the lead, a fly ball to right. It also sails well over the head of Figueroa. Woodburn will be thinking 3 for back-to-back triples. So playing a shallow outfield, they were hoping to get under a fly ball, prevent a sac fly. Woodburn's made them pay. That'll bring up Gunnett Carlson, and Tampa's on the board. So after 2 straight hits to start his season, how can Almanzar bounce back? That's the big question. 2026 was poised to be that bounce back year. He had a shaky outing with the Royals in 2025. In 35 innings, he surrendered 42 runs, and 40 of those players would come home to score. 37 earned runs on the year. This should make it 2-0. And Figueroa makes the sliding grab. Woodburn will stroll in safely to home plate. Two 2-0 Tampa, and after misreading the ball, not being able to take a great route to it on the previous play, good outing there by the junior to make a sliding grab. That'll bring up Irigoyen with 1 out and the base is empty. Almanzar's command is something he'd like to improve upon too. Last year surrendered 35 walks to 24 strikeouts. But so far has filled the zone all right against the Spartans. Tampa's just had some good hits early. This one weaker to short. Dunn will pick it up. And Irigoyen, good hustle, but he's out by a step. Tampa showing early aggression in these at-bats against Almanzar. While it's led to 2 early runs, Almanzar has converted 2 straight outs. That'll bring up Jake Books. And now talk about where these two were last year. Brooks was on the D1 National Championship winning side in Coastal Carolina. And he is going to be a very tough 2-out test for Almanzar, as that one's taken low for ball 1. By the way, Almanzar is a junior out of Lakeland, Florida. Was previously at Lakeland High School. And here's the 1-0. That'll get away. 2-0. Books, on the other hand, he's out of Collegeville, Pennsylvania. And he was also a top 500 prospect in his high school class back in 2022. Books will take high, and he'll get up ahead 3-0. Javi Soto is on deck, and it's looking pretty likely that Soto will be working with a base runner with 2 away. Now it'll be ball 4 to Jake Books. That's the first at-bat we've seen the command a little shaky for Almanzar, unable to hit the corners. Most of Tampa players have been pretty aggressive in their early at-bats, and I wonder if Books might be a sign of them slowing down and being more patient.
Yeah, 4 balls is a 3 ball. So if he doesn't throw well? Yeah, if he throws back, basically. Like, that's a ball.
Soto takes high for ball 1. I had a chance to catch up with Javi Soto before the game today, but I'll tell you about that a little bit later in his second at-bat on the broadcast. For now, Almanzar will continue with a base runner. That'll miss down low. Close call, 2-0. It's the first year for Coach Rouse here at Warner. And, you know, he's excited. It's a team that's had a great history, especially across some Sunshine State Conference opponents in the Sun Conference. They've been a big part of NAIA baseball for years, as that one's fouled back for strike 1. And Rouse is hoping to not only add to this team's storied legacy, but to help build a winning culture. And obviously, it takes a while to set the seeds and let them grow, but a positive start to the year with a .500 record in overall play and conference play in the early goings for Warner as the count goes 2-2. Oh, and by the way, Coach Rouse does want to give a shout-out to his wife on the broadcast, who I'd imagine is watching at home. Hopefully, things will remain clear as it is a beautiful day here in Tampa. Soto high and should be out number 3. Should Dunn stay under it. Left fielder tracking at Rodriguez, and they're both going to let it fall. Throw to second, gets away. Tampa goes up 3-0 after initially Books was held up at third. Out number 3 will not be found just yet. But for Almanzar, that's the type of contact you're hoping for as Nick Pereira steps up to the plate. Kind of ironic that both teams, the Spartans and Royals, had their number 5 pick up an early season or preseason injury that sidelined them for a good chunk of the early goings. Just as Coach Rouse was excited for Almanzar's return, so was Coach Urso and the Spartans roster for the return of Nick Pereira, also a junior, strike 1 taken. To Pereira. It was a 1-1 actually to Pereira. It was hamate surgery needed for Pereira with his early season injury. But he's come back and in his limited starts hasn't looked too bad in the early goings. On the year, he is batting .400 at the plate. It's 4 hits and 10 tries. He'll get ahead 2-1 now. 2 straight takes after the first pitch strike. That previous play is the first error of the game out of the Royals. That will be an unearned run for Almanzar. 2-2. That'll count as a double for Soto. But given that the error is what brought the run home, he won't gain an RBI just yet. 2-2 to Pereira. Outside, he'll work the count full. So what do you throw here if you're Almanzar? His pitchability has been praised by Coach Rouse, and this is where it shines the most. And a full count like this gets a foul tip. Pereira just under it. Still 3-2. While Tampa's not going to expect a deep outing out of Tobin Moran, there are going to be some players they want to get some reps with out of the bullpen. Almanzar is going to be having a full-fledged start here as he looks to work his way into the Royals' rotation. Payoff pitch. Rolled on the ground to Almanzar. He might have time for the out at first. His throw is high, but the first baseman stays on the bag. Scary moment for a second, almost a bit of collision with Pereira. Inning over. Almanzar leaves a runner on the base. 3 hits, 1 errors, and 3 score for the Spartans as they jump to the early lead. Tampa have had a history of coming back from 3-0 deficits. We'll see if the Royals can do the same when we come back. Warm-up continues for Tobin Moran, and he's got some run support to work with. 3-run Spartan advantage in the top of the second. And Pereira will continue some warm-ups as we resume. I was able to catch up with Coach Rouse before the game. It's his first season at Warner. One thing he's been trying to stress to his team is to embrace that winning history, the winning culture that Warner has had in the past, to bring it back. But obviously for Warner, it's going to be a long road to the top. Baseball in Florida across the college level is the best you will find in the nation. Not just, say, from the SEC, with teams like Florida and Florida State in D1. Not just from the Sunshine State Conference here in D2. Not just from the Citrus Conference, where so many Tampa players come from in the NJCAA, but also in the Sun Conference, where Warner, Weber, Reiser, the new College of Florida, and so many other Floridian sides battle every season in NAIA play in one of the best conferences in that division too. Swing and a miss, and Moran will pick up 2 strikes now to Swarbrick. 1-2 to start the inning. Hit up the middle, that is in range for Ponce, and he gets out number 1. 1 out to bring up Patty Smith. And mentioning the Sun Conference, even though Jack Ike isn't here tonight, he did deliver some interesting trivia for the broadcast, mentioning that there were a few SSC teams that used to play in said conference. Nova Southeastern, Embry-Riddle, and Palm Beach Atlantic all had started their college baseball journeys in the Sun Conference. Since then, they've graduated to the SSC Conference in D2. But Warner and those sides have had some rivalries in the past. And so have Warner and the Spartans. This is not these teams' first times meeting, as the count will be 0-2 for Tobin Moran. The last time they met was all the way back in 2011. The Spartans would go on to win 6-4 in their one-off game on March 29th. So 15 years since the last time these teams faced. Strike 3, got him looking. Second strikeout for Tobin Moran to bring up Adriel Torres Gonzalez.
Third baseman number 9, Adriel Torres Gonzalez.
What we doing, guys?
In that game back in 2011, Patrick Donahue had a 3-hit day. And that's going to take a weird bounce off of Fikar. First pitch swinging, and while Gonzalez got it on the ground, it also got past Fikar in a weird way. That might give it as an error to the third baseman. Unlucky for Luke, who has always been stellar on defense. And even though there are going to be a lot of bullpen guys active for the Spartans, you'd imagine that they won't be as active, or at least Fikar won't be active today, as it'll be other guys out of the bullpen getting some reps. 0-1. Moran getting ahead of the count. 0-2, hitting the low corner. Tampa's last loss against Warner came back in 2003. Runner goes, fly ball to straightaway center. Evans almost lost it in the sun, but he finds it to make the catch. So an error puts a runner on board for the Royals, but that runner's left on base. 2 clean innings from Tobin Moran, off to the bottom of the second. So after getting some notes from, I'm not sure if that's Coach Rouse, but it is a member of one of the Warner coaching staff, the defense takes the field for the Royals as they look to refocus and reset for the brand new inning. It was not a perfect inning on defense for Warner, which was part of the reason that Tampa was able to bring home some runs. One of the runs surrendered by Almanzar, unearned to start the day today. Fikar, Ponce, Evans due up this inning for the Spartans. And Tampa will be looking to get back on the board. Tampa leads in the bottom of the second all time against Warner. Tampa is 4. Swing and a miss. Good fastball in the corner, getting Tampa's third baseman to just get under it. Fikar, a two-way player out of Tampa. Recent transfer to the Spartans from Hillsborough Community College. He's become a pretty high leverage reliever for Tampa, but also now an almost everyday third baseman. He'll stay alive, 1-2.
Yeah, I do. I just thought it was on.
If you want, you can try just doing camera 1 and 2 with the home plate and the center field one.
I was able to check in with Coach Urso before today's game, and I asked him, what did Tampa do the best at last weekend? What facet of play did the Spartans really succeed with? Fikar staying alive, battling off another foul ball. And what Urso mentioned was the offense. They scored early, they scored often, and that's exactly what they did in the bottom of the first, capitalizing off some mistakes to put up 3 on the board. But Coach Urso also mentioned it was a great weekend for the starters. Bailey and Satin, dominant outings. They were also able to leave early thanks to Tampa taking big leads. Great play at the hot corner by Torres Gonzalez, 1 away. And it was that offense giving them that cushion, allowing them to not have to worry about a deep outing, which is going to be really useful for Satin and Bailey, and Glanton too for the most part. It'll keep them healthy as they hit the dog days of the season, the big stretch here at the end of March and early April. Tampa this weekend will be traveling out to Daytona, and then at home next weekend they'll be hosting Florida Southern. Always the toughest part of the year as Tampa looks to extend their pretty noticeable conference lead at the moment. Both Eckerd and Rollins suffered defeats. Rollins actually lost their series last weekend, so they now have 3 conference losses on the year. Tampa essentially a full series ahead of them in the table. 1-1 to Ponce. Main thing Coach Urso is looking for the Spartans today on the mound? Consistency, not just from Moran, but also the rest of the bullpen staff that will be rotating in and out. Coach said it is likely going to be an opener style outing for Moran, maybe 3 to 4 innings, depending on how he's feeling, because there are plenty of players that will be getting some reps for the Spartans. 3-1 now to Ponce, high and away. Defensively for Warner, they've got Blanco forming the battery with Almanzar, Duns at first, Swarbrick at second, Smith at short, Torres Gonzalez at third, Rodriguez in left, Ledoux in center, and Figueroa in right. Ball 4. Only the second walk out of Almanzar today, and I stress only given how Tampa has been elite with their on-base discipline. That's always been a thing that Tampa teams can do, but this season as well, they have once again racked up a lot of early walks. 168 entering today, make it now 170 on the year to just 160 strikeouts. Tampa generates walks on a 458 clip. They slug at a 518 clip. 0-1 to Evans. Or 108 Evans, ball low.
Yeah, it was 4 balls. So.
Evans took a swing on the first pitch of the game, hit a ball to deep left field. Rodriguez couldn't find it, and Evans ended up with a triple. 2-0. He would then score just 3 pitches later. On a 1-1 count, Woodburn would triple, bringing him home. Those are the 2 of the 3 extra base hits for the Spartans, and oddly enough, every hit for Tampa today has been for extra bases. Now it's Almanzar. 1 out, 2 balls, no strikes. High and inside, 2-1. Small lead at first for Ponce. He'll stay put. Swing and a miss for Evans, 2-2. Checking his wrist, it's Almanzar to Evans. On the ground to third and just rolls foul. A little bit of bad luck for Evans. Glynn's outing had some bad luck of his own as well. Back in the first inning, he was able to coax a ground ball that could have been a double play, but it bounced off the umpire. Because it did, it was a dead ball, and both runners would be on board safely. And eventually, Bennett would find himself bases loaded. Bases would get cleared on an RBI hit down the line. Evans keeps up with a fastball. Good velo out of Almanzar. He's had some Tampa swings a bit late on that one. Gets another late off of Evans. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tampa center fielder. High, ball 3. Evans works the count full. Only 1 away, but I wouldn't be surprised maybe if Tampa thinks about sending Ponce. Quick check on Ponce for that exact reason. Ponce is safe.
He threw it. Oh, yeah. See what I mean? He might do it again. Usually they do it 2 in a row.
3-2 on the way. Ponce's running, and Evans drives one foul. That one had the distance to go yard, but he was just a tad bit early. 3-2 again. And here comes the payoff pitch one more time. Almanzar to Evans, 3-0 Tampa here in the bottom of the second. And this time Evans keeps it in play, a deep fly ball to left. It is going to bounce just away from the left fielder. Ponce will be held up at third. A full count double, second base hit of the extra base hit of the day for Evans. If you notice, it is pretty bright on the field. Some shadows are creeping out where it's towards the infield. That always makes it tough to see for fielders. You might even notice when Almanzar gets the ball back from Blanco, he might shield his eyes from time to time. That's the glare that comes from the stadium's architecture. And you also imagine for poor Rodriguez out in left field that it's also the sun that's causing him to lose track of the ball, especially on a bright, clear sky like this with no natural shielding from the sun. Here's Woodburn. Popped up. Tampa will try to tag the runner home, I'd imagine. Catch is made in center. Make it 4-0 Spartans. Both runners advance. Obviously don't like a run conceding here if you're Almanzar, but you get out number 2 on the very first pitch from one of the best hitters in D2 baseball. So not a terrible outcome in this plate appearance. He's now got to deal with Gunnett Carlson. Carlson had a sac fly last time. On the season, he's getting on base at a .545 rate. Slugging only .557, but that is a pretty big asterisk over only, given how high that number is in general. Ball 1. Carlson's worked 29 walks in 70 plate appearances. Simply impressive discipline to start the season. And this time he's going to pop it up to third. Bounces off the glove. Fielded it short. Good hustle by Smith, but not enough time to get the throw home. That'll be a run for the Spartans. They're up by 5. I'd imagine that'll be another error on Warner. And it'll be an unearned run for Almanzar. And that'll bring up Irigoyen. Mike Schwartz has the Tampa record for walks in the season. Drew 75 back in 2010. Irigoyen flares that one foul, make it 0-1. Anthony Nunez and Coach Jose Jimenez are both second on the list with 55. Nunez did that in his final season with the Spartans in 2024. Jimenez back in 2009 as the count goes 1-1. Jimenez is also on the list for his 07 and 08 seasons with 54 and 53 respectively. Coach Joe Urso himself made the list for his 1990 campaign where he drew 54. Now picked up at third. Good scoop at first by Dunn, inning over. 2 hits, 2 runs. Tampa extends the advantage, continuing to score early and often. 5-0 Spartans through 2 innings. And what will probably be Moran's final inning on the mound, he'll try to keep Tampa in front when we come back. So the festivities continue here at Country Night here at the University of Tampa Ballpark. And you might be able to see the glare getting in the way for Tobin Moran and that awkward reception of the ball on the mound. But so far, the sun hasn't slowed down the Spartans at all. They lead 5-0, capitalizing with some timely base hits and a couple of miscues by the Warner defense. Some other Tampa veterans also on that all-time walks leaderboard for a season. Jordan Lala, Nico Saladino being two of them. Will Gunnar Carlson join them? We'll have to wait and see. 29 hits or 29 walks in 26 games ain't a bad start. Tampa enters this game today with a 22-4 record as Tampa leads 5-0. At home, Tampa's 15-1 this season. They are 15-0 in games that have gone to the end of the bottom of the ninth as the count goes 1-0. The reason I specify that, Tampa's lone loss of the season at home against Davenport to round out the weekend series got finished due to a lightning delay, as that one's hit deep, but curving foul. Good pop off the bat, though, for Timothy Dunn. Samuel Blanco steps up to the plate. I sadly didn't have a chance to get you the info about this during his first plate appearance, but I asked Coach Rouse who he had a player that was one to watch, maybe a bit of a breakout candidate, as that one's hit sharply to third. Good throw from Fiker, one away. And the answer from Coach Rouse, Evan Liddell. Liddell, the freshman out of De Leon Springs, Florida, and DeLand High School, had a very good weekend last weekend, filling in the starting lineup. Originally, Warner wanted to redshirt him, but he'd been grinding hard in practice, earned some reps, and helped them capitalize to a 2-1 series win over St. Thomas. Liddell gets to start today, had a flyout to start his evening. So that'll bring up Blanco. Popped up from Blanco, should be in play for Carlson. Woodburn calls him off. And Woodburn makes a falling catch, 2 away. He lost the ball in the sun, but with a little bit of acrobatics, ends up with it. I wonder if he was trying to emulate his former teammate JD or so by making a banana ball style catch. Probably not. But I guess it worked out. That might be one of the plays that Joe Urso tells him, hey, good catch, don't do that again once he comes back to the dugout. Rodriguez now with 2 away. He'll take ball 1 outside. Started the game with a pop out to second base. That one was a little bit easier for Woodburn to get to back in the first inning. Tried to go inside with a slider and just misses. Pitch count's low for Moran, but keep in mind again, won't be going too deep. Coach Urso says he'd like to have Moran healthy and ready to go on Friday and Saturday for the series against the Eagles. Hit up the middle, and that will be the first hit of the day for Warner. Splits the defense to give them a 2-out base runner. Danny Garcia, 2 outs.
The thing is here, if you click clear, it gets rid of the outs too. So you have to reset it.
Designated hitter, Danny Garcia.
And then they got a hit. It's like if they hit it and then get on base, it's a hit. But they have to get on base.
There's the first pitch and a successful steal for Rodriguez. Good throw from Pereira, but that one not on time. That'll be strike 1 now. The pitch where Rodriguez stole on was actually a ball. Rodriguez has now 21 steals on the season. This Warner team very aggressive on the base paths. That's another one of the facets that Coach Rouse wants to build for the side as the count goes 2-1. He said that he wants the team to play fast, play good defense, and hit the zone. So far, doing 2 of the 3 pretty well today. The command for Almanzar, pretty good comparatively speaking, as the count goes 2-2. The defense will be what the Royals, and again, they're having to deal with the sun, so it's not easy out there, will be looking to improve upon across innings 3, 4, 5, and beyond. Trying to hold the runner at second. And that will be strike 3, inning over. 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs allowed, no walks allowed, and 3 strikeouts for Moran. A nice little tune-up game for Moran as he gets a chance to become a high-leverage guy this weekend. This is where Tampa's bullpen train, I believe, will begin. But Almanzar still has plenty of time to go out there on the mound. Bottom of the third coming up when we return. Warm-up wrapping up, and we're about to begin in the bottom of the third. After this Monday matchup for Warner, they'll begin their weekend on Thursday. The Royals taking on Florida Memorial in Lake Wales on Thursday, a doubleheader on Friday, and a series finale on Saturday. The upcoming weekend series is the final time the Royals will be playing in March. As they get ready to go, first pitch to Books. Strike 1. "47 pitches in the first 2 innings for Almanzar. He has put up 28 strikes, however, as that'll miss down low to make it 1-1. Books saw 4 straight balls in the first inning, as it looks like they'll be getting Almanzar a new ball for the mound. Tonight's umpires are Kevin Boltron and Joel Parrish. Parrish in the middle infield. Boltron behind home plate. Swing and a tip into the glove, strike 2. Soto awaits. Can Almanzar start with an out? He's also looking for his first strikeout of the night and season. Not yet. Ball 2. But in the early goings, you got to feel that Almanzar is doing a lot of things right out there. Defense bringing pretty heavy shift for Books, and Books will tip it foul close to that direction.
So that would have been a strike.
Still 2-2.
2, so nothing happens.
Books has a ball to work with. That'll miss outside, ball 3. That was the ball he could work with. Now it's a full count.
He's either going to get out or walk, so you'll probably
Second walk of the game.
unless it's a foul.
We'll have to wait and see. Payoff pitch. Books will stay alive.
So you don't need to go.
Ball 4. Right on the corner. But a very disciplined take out of Jake Books. Third Spartan walk of the game.
So
That'll bring up Javi Soto. I told you earlier I checked in with Javi Soto, and here's what he had to say. I asked Soto what was the reason that he came to Tampa. Well, he told me that the second he stepped on campus, he knew this is where he wanted to be. He wanted the chance to compete against some of the best, and he felt that Tampa could do just that. He loves the competitiveness and the atmosphere of the team. I mentioned that's also one of the biggest differences for him this season at Tampa compared to last season at Santa Fe. Now you can tell that everyone here at Tampa is very competitive and wants to win. 0-1 now to Javi Soto. Soto with a high fly ball, just got under this one. Second baseman tracking back. That's an infield flyout, but also out number 1. And I also asked Soto what was the biggest difference for the D2 level compared to the JUCO level. And he mentioned it was the depth, which is something that's kind of been pretty evident and clear across the board. At the college level, the best guys, no matter what division they're in, aren't going to be too far apart. Someone like Robert Satin and some of the best arms in the nation in D1, there's not going to be a huge wealth of difference between them. But what's the difference is, when you go from level to level, the depth and strength across the team is going to be better. For instance, the best players on a team like Santa Fe, they'll be players that could do great in D2. But it's those reserve guys and the rotational guys is where you notice the difference. D2 will have better rotational guys than JUCO. D1 will have better rotational guys than D2. It's the depth in terms of overall talent compared to the top talent. That's a huge difference. 2-0 now to Nick Pereira. Still 5-0 Spartans. They've got a man at first, one away. That was Books with the leadoff walk, and it could be Pereira drawing one of his own. 3-0. Fiker and Ponce are on deck. Tobin Moran relaxing by the dugout. You'd imagine his day is done after that successful third inning. Ball 4. First deep outing of the year for Almanzar. There is a lefty worming in the bullpen for Warner. If he continues to stay in trouble here, they could pull him, maybe as early as the Ponce at bat. But also, you think about his pitch count climbing, and this is the first of what will be plenty of appearances, whether it's in the rotation or maybe as a higher leverage bullpen guy this season for Almanzar. I'd reckon that he's earned himself a spot in the rotation coming up soon, as that'll be strike 1. You don't want to have him get too burnt out in a game like this, especially as it won't tie into conference or, postseason play for Warner. It's not a game that will affect the seedings for the Royals at all. Vice versa for the Spartans as the count goes 0-2. But Rouse mentioned that he is excited about the prospect of being able to take on Tampa, a true blue blood of Division II, and honestly college baseball as a whole, because it just gets Warner experience against one of the best teams and a real chance to sharpen their stuff, learn some lessons from guys that are really at that elite level. Even if you lose by a comfortable margin, when you get a chance as an NAI team to take on the best in D2, you learn lessons firsthand that you just can't get out of a normal practice, and sometimes you can't just get out of a normal matchup against another NAIA out-of-conference foe, say on the West Coast. And that'll be ball 2 to Fiker. Tampa's the type of team that forces you to play at your best, and that's exactly what I think Coach Rouse is hoping to see out of his guys. A great lesson to take into conference play. As Sun Conference play continues, Southeastern rules the roost with a 7-1 record in Sun Conference play this season. Kaiser right behind at 6-2 as the count goes full. Warner are currently 6th out of 8th in the conference at 6-6, tied with St. Thomas at an even .500 conference percentage. They are comfortably clear of Florida Memorial and New College of Florida at the bottom of the table. Just high to Fiker, bases loaded. And now you start to wonder for Almanzar if that is fatigue or just some tough battle losses. Well, either way, it will be the hook for Almanzar. done in the third inning. He picked up the first out. And you know, there have been worse outings for starters against the Spartans all season long. And for Almanzar, who's making his first appearance of 2026, does not look too bad. Naturally, Almanzar will now just rely on the lefty that's going to replace him to keep his earned run count at 4. A lot of signs of good play from Almanzar. I know he's probably happy just to be back on the mound after that early season injury. I know fans will await his return to conference play later as we take a quick breather. So we're ready to continue. The junior, Jeffrey Almanzar, exits stage left. He got a very rude awakening for his first appearance in 2026, an outing against the D2 national champs. All things considered, he was able to pick up 7 outs, but Tampa had some elite discipline and capitalized on a couple of fielding mistakes to put him with 5 hits, 5 walks, and currently 5 runs allowed. 4 of them earned, and he's also left the bases loaded for Dylan Grace. Dylan Grace, the Ocala resident, steps up. He's a two-way man. Off-field, he likes to play pickleball. Grace is going to have a tough job right here. Bases loaded against Jesse Ponce. High fly ball for Ponce. This should be out number 2. Ledoux tracks it down, and it is 6-0 Spartans. But crucially, Ponce brings home a run on a sac fly. 2 down now for the top of the order in Jordan Evans. Similar to Palm Beach Atlantic, Warner players also having favorite Bible verses listed on their player profiles. For Dylan Grace, it's Philippians 4:13, which is, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. I think those are good words to think about in a situation like this. As a freshman, you're going up against the best team in D2. A true blue blood in the Spartans, and you've got the bases loaded with 1 out. He's already picked up a second out of the inning, but now he has to deal with Jordan Evans. And not only has Evans been a strong player throughout his collegiate career, last year very strong at Mississippi College, Evans has been one of the best in D2 this season as well. 1-1, fools him with a changeup. Dylan Grace hasn't been active at the plate this season, but on the mound has had a couple of outings, 3.60 ERA in that span. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks on the year. Here comes Evans with a line drive to left. That is going to bounce past Ledoux. Got a feel for Ledoux, trying to make the sliding catch. Evans is thinking 3. Standing triple. A 2 triple day for Evans, which brings home 2 RBIs. 8-0 Tampa. And that officially will saddle Almanzar with 8 earned on the day. There have been a couple of shaky outings for opposing starters in recent matchups, as this will be the first pitch. Ball 1 to Woodburn. Langfelder had a good outing going 5 1/3, giving up 4 runs. Budiak gave up 9 runs in 5 1/3. Nolan Smoot was chased out of the game with 10 runs allowed for the weekend series against Palm Beach. 1-1 now to Braden Woodburn. He's had 2 RBIs on the day, sac fly back in the second. Tripled in the first. And it was ironically with Evans at third in that first try. Just high, 2-1. Irigoyen's on deck. After initially facing the lefty, it's now 3 right-handers in a row at the plate for Grace. Actually, it's Carlson beforehand, so 2 right-handers, then a lefty, and then the ever-dangerous Irigoyen. That'll be ball 4. Wellworth's walk from Woodburn. And another 2-out base runner for Gunnar Carlson. Woodburn's picked up his 18th walk of the season. He now has 27 free bases compared to 12 strikeouts. Carlson with a pop-up. Can Torres-Gonzalez end the inning? He's tracking it in foul territory and makes the catch. And that'll do it for the third. Tampa only need 1 hit in the inning, drawing 4 walks. And they'll score 3 more runs to make it 8-0 Spartans. We'll be back in the top of the 4th. So here we go as we continue with the first call to the bullpen. Alex Slash gets the outing here in the 4th inning. One time I saw Alex Slash warming up with a javelin similar to Yoshinobu Yamamoto with his throws for his warm-up routine. Slash has been very good for the Spartans this season. The junior out of New Orleans, 3.65 ERA. He has fanned 11 in 12 innings.
No, it's still the 4th. It's just now it's the top of the 4th.
Last weekend, did get a chance on the mound. And he will get a chance today as he'll actually be in line for the win for the Spartans. With only 3 innings pitched, Moran will not get his first decision. He's had 2 short of an outing. And that is a benefit to the junior, who could pick up his 2nd career Spartan victory. Alongside his 7 bullpen appearances, he has 1 win on the year. Figueroa, Swarbrick, and Smith due up for Warner. It's been a good year for Figueroa and Swarbrick and Smith. They're some of the top players on this offense. Notably, Swarbrick has a .522 slugging percentage, leading all qualified batters, 1-0. Figueroa a little more consistent with the extra base hits, though. He has picked up 10 on the year. 2-0 now to Figueroa. The Royals were only able to muster 1 base hit and 2 runners in 3 innings against Moran. But they've got a chance to get things going against the rest of the Spartan bullpen, 3-0. Swarbrick on deck. 11 strikeouts to 7 walks. That is the K to walk ratio for Lash this season. And it's a 4-pitch walk to open the inning.
Don't worry about the fourth.
Top of the 4th here at the Birdcage. I'm Taylor Storley. You're watching the SSC Digital Network. Thank you for tuning in. And the Spartans currently holding on to a comfortable 8-run lead. They're looking for some good days out of their bullpen guys. Runner goes, but heads back to first. Pereira with a good block on the low offering. I would anticipate Figueroa running. He's had 14 steals on the year. He's second behind the 21 from Gabriel Rodriguez. Figueroa with an aggressive lead, but he stays put 2-0. I wonder if Tampa might go for a pickoff here. I wonder if Lash is thinking about that. He's had 6 straight misses out of the bullpen. And that time, Framing can't pull it back into the zone. .3-0 from Lash. Now one's ball 4. No. Yes. I thought I heard the ump give an audible strike call, but no. That's a loud audible ball call. 8 straight misses for Lash out of the bullpen, and you imagine Sam is going to head out there. Yes. Sam Militello just checking in with the number 11. The good news for Alex Lash, Tampa leads by 8. He's got room to work. One thing Coach Urso was hoping to see is consistency out of a lot of his bullpen guys. This initial start to the outing, probably not what Urso's been hoping for. But we'll see how Lash recovers now with 2 base runners.
Now hitting is the shortstop, Patty Smith.
6 hits for the Spartans, 1 hit for Warner. They've gotten a base runner off a hit, an error, and 2 walks. And finally, Lash hits the corner for strike 1. First pitch of the inning, this time against Patty Smith. It's bad news for Smith because I think he was hoping for Lash to miss. In terms of his strikeout to walk ratio at the plate this season, Smith has walked 5 times and gotten struck out 14 times. Rodriguez is the team leader in walks with 18 on the year. Makes sense as to why he's the leadoff man. Both runners go, and they will come home on a line drive to center field. The hit and run puts them on the board, and Evans hits the base runner with the relay throw to third. RBI single for Patty Smith. That is a hit and run executed to perfection. It's 8-1 Spartans.
Now hitting is the third baseman, Adriel Torres-Gonza.
Second hit of the day for the Royals. And for Patty Smith, it's RBI number 19. He trails Torres Gonzalez by 4 on the year. Evans, I think, would have had the runner out at third. Swarbrick advancing first to the other side of the infield, 1-0. But his throw bounced off the runner instead of reaching Fiker. That'll hit the inside corner, 1-1 now to Torres Gonzalez. Adriel Torres Gonzalez, a junior out of Vieira, Florida. He'll get ahead 2-1 in the count. And we'll have to see if Flash can't even get himself an out. If things get a little bit weaker, Coach Urso might not hesitate to go to another arm out of the bullpen. 2-2. He has got a lot of people he wants to give innings to. almost like debuts for a big-time roll out of Tampa's bullpen. And Lash just misses, and you can tell that was accidental. He wanted to go inside with a heater, but instead loads the bases.
They get to walk free.
So there's no activity out of the dugout. Urso is going to stay put. So Lash is going to get a test with the bases loaded. How does he deal with a high-pressure spot? And unfortunately for Evan Ladeau, he's going to get replaced by Ethan Hughes. I hope that Ladeau is healthy. He took an awkward slide in center field in the previous inning. I wonder if maybe he picked up a mild injury on that dive. And that is going to see Urso out to the mound, and I believe that the hesitation with the pinch hitter gave just enough time for a warm-up to conclude. Tough day for Alex Lash, and the hunt for consistency will continue with a brand new arm. The junior for NOLA will be active as the season continues. You imagine he'll be ready to go in Daytona, but tonight was just not his night. Out of the bullpen looks to be Josiah Velasquez, and we'll be right back. So Josiah Velasquez, who's also going to be hunting for some better consistency, gets the outing right here. He came in the game in the ninth yesterday, and he shut the door with 3 straight strikeouts. His previous outing against Davenport saw him get saddled with his first loss of the year. Now we'll inherit the bases loaded. Let's see how the junior out of Fort Myers does in a tight spot. 1.13 ERA for Velasquez. The runs he gave up against Davenport were unearned, thanks to an errant play from the Spartan defense. It came off of a 6-run rally in the late game for the Panthers to saddle Tampa with their first home loss of the year. Warner are hoping to chain a big inning just like that one right here. They've got the bases loaded and no one out. And even better, even if things turn sour and they quickly get put in a Noble Tiger situation, they already scored a run thanks to Patty Smith. Ball 1 just high. Fouled back, 1-1. Velasquez doesn't need to worry about the pitch clock. He's getting set pretty quickly out there. And Puce, who's come off the bench, is ready to go with a 1-1. Puce gets under this one. Straight away center. And it is going to fall right in front of Evans to bring home 1. The relay will keep the bases loaded. And for this another time today, it's been those balls to the warning track that have just been untouchable. It's afflicted Gonzalez out in left field for the Royals, and now Evans in center for the Spartans. It's 8-2. That'll be a hit for the Royals, their third of the game. Good job by Evans to stay next to it to make sure no one else scores. 0-1 hitting the corner against Timothy Dunn. The first baseman for the Royals ready to go. He grounded out to third in his first try. Driven to left. That could clear the bases all the way to the wall. Smith scores. Torres Gonzalez scores. They're sending Puce home. No throw from Ponce. Bases clearing double out of Timothy Dunn.
One hit, reset him, and then only a guy at second.
And it is 8-5 in the blink of an eye. That is not what Coach Urso wants to see out of the Spartans in this inning. Warner have come alive on offense here in the top of the fourth. Blanco with a high fly ball. Evans fighting the sun. Brooks makes the play. And Brooks with a cannon of a throw to third will keep the runner at second. First out of the inning for Tampa. At least a benefit for Velasquez. While he's gotten into a little bit of trouble, it's primarily been because he's been able to hit the zone and generate some tough swings. Sadly, there have been some good ones, though, in terms of Velasquez. Off the bench, here comes Raul Oliveira. He'll replace Rodriguez here. Warner with some mid-game swaps across the board. Oliveira is a senior out of Havana, Cuba. Recently, Cuba present in the World Baseball Classic. They got eliminated in pool play. Swing and a miss 0-1. There were some travel difficulties lately for two Cuban stars of NPB, Levon Moinello and Raidel Martinez. The story does have a happy ending, though. They're en route back to Japan for the start of the NPB season, which is coming up this weekend. Just like the MLB season, which is also about to begin regular season play this weekend, too. College ball, however, we're into the latter stages of the season now, as we hit April. On the corner, 1-2, Velasquez almost freezes Oliveira. Could have got him looking. Oliveira hitting .242 in 14 games, 9 of them starts. He'll pop this one up. Pereira giving chase. That's off the net. He does make the catch, however. Still 1-2. Just high. That'll make it 2-2 now from Velasquez to Oliveira. Three and two now, full count. Garcia's on deck. Warner is one player away from batting around the entire order. Tried to go outside corner with a cutter, ball 4. This Warner offense has just come alive now, and they've brought the tying run to the plate in the form of Danny Garcia. The lefty stays in the game. First pitch, ball 1. Fouled, 1-1. That'll get through the hole into left field. They're going to send the runner home. Dunn turning to the plate, and they're wisely going to keep him there at third.
So bases loaded. Take away.
He was about to get put on the Javi Soto highlight reel if he kept going. Weak contact surrendered, but just hit to the right position, out of reach of Ponce. And now the bases are loaded again for Velasquez. There will be some activity in the Spartan bullpen, but Velasquez, who's had some good high leverage moments since, ready to go. And they're actually going to get the out at third. Two away now. That'll be ball one missing down low. I can't confirm it, but they might have done the hidden ball trick over at third base and picked up the out. A little bit of ingenuity, if you will. Warner do get the last laugh. This will either load the bases or bring home a run. Books his play at the plate, not in time, but a good throw from right field. RBI single for the second at bat of the inning for Figueroa. That'll bring up Swarbrick with two away.
Second baseman, J.D. Swarbrick.
It is 8-6 Spartans. Swarbrick now doesn't represent the tying run. He represents the go-ahead run. And that'll be curtains. A righty-righty matchup coming up with Velasquez done for the day. Velasquez had a better outing than Lash, getting two outs, but can't escape the jam. We'll be right back. So yeah, out number two came off of a hidden ball trick, believe it or not. Good heads-up play out of Fiker and Velasquez to do so. However, it won't save Velasquez from getting chased out of the inning with some timely hits. Four surrendered for him out of the bullpen. And it'll be K. Drohan trying to get out of a two-runner jam. A bases-loaded jam with two away. Oliveira at third, Garcia at second, Figueroa at first. Cade's brother, Shane Drohan, recently got traded to the Brewers out of the Red Sox organization. It's cool news for our friend Jack Ike. He's a big Brewers fan himself. So actually it should be, 8-6, so it's not the bases loaded, or the live stats page is incorrect. RBI single for Figueroa. And here comes Drohan, working the Swarbrick. First pitch here for Drohan. Strike one. On the year, Drohan's got a 3.48 ERA. He has struck out 14 and 10 in the third innings. You'd imagine if he gets out number three, he would be back for the fifth. 1-1. Inside corner 1 and 2. Just outside, went low with a heater, 2 and 2 now. Swarbrick drew a walk in his first step out of the inning. It's his second time at the plate. Ball 3, missing outside. Full count now, Addie Smith on deck. The runners will be moving. Payoff pitch hit into the gap. This could tie the game. Evans is going to keep in front of it on the bounce. His relay to the infield keeps runners at the corners. But it is yet another base hit out of the Warner Royals to make it 8-7. Figueroa to third. Swarbrick stays at first. 6 hits in the inning for the Royals. A dominant inning on offense. 8-7 Spartans, but one more hit with 2 away would tie the game. Do you send the runner here is the big question. Swarbrick waits. He's going to go. Maybe a double steal. Throw goes high. Play at the plate, and they got him. They don't let the double steal work. 2-6, 2-10 the inning. Good defense from Tampa. Nice try out of the Royals. But the damage was very much done. 7 come home on 6 hits. It's 8-7 Spartans, but all of a sudden, the Royals went from down and out to back in the fight. More action on the SSC Digital Network when we come back.
Coming tomorrow morning. Yes, sir. Coach, you missed the Jesse James guy in our list today. I heard that. Yeah. Yeah, he was in our list. He was talking to David a lot. Maybe he wants to try to get a little following. Yeah. It's good for him. Wait, what? He's trying to what? He has like a TikTok. David does. David? Yeah, you didn't know that? I will see.
Fans getting excited here at the Birdcage as we now transition to the bottom of the 4th. A wild inning for the Spartans defense. How can they respond on offense? Strike 1. Uruguayan, Books, and Soto due up. Ball 1 missing low. Tampa do hold on to the lead, but that lead got pushed to the limit with the tying run almost coming home on a double steal. Good play from the Spartan defense to make sure it didn't. That'll make it 2-1 to Uruguayan. In his first 2 tries, he's grounded out. We'll stay ahead in the count, though. Right on the black for strike 2, and Uruguayan trying to keep alive. Grace continues to work. Got out of the previous inning with 2 outs, and he'll miss for ball 3 to open against Uruguayan. There will be some activity over in the Warner bullpen. Wonder if Evan Christ or Easton Nunez could get some action. But that's going to be ball 4, leadoff walk to Uruguayan. And Tampa will be hoping to get on the board right here. Down low, ball 1. Nice block in the dirt by Blanco. Puce now plays center field instead of Ledoux, and Rodriguez replaced with Oliveira out and left. The change is made at the plate for Warner, really paying off here as the count goes 1-1. The offense for Warner putting up a 7 spot in the top half of the inning. Tampa trying to respond with a good inning of their own. Very big shift for Jake Books. And he'll get ahead 2-1. The streak of extra base hits ended in the second. But out of the 7 Spartan hits, most of them have been for extra bases as the count goes 3-1. Javi Soto awaits. He would have a lefty-righty matchup. Or a call to the bullpen if this misses for ball 4 of the books. And that is going to be high.
Well, we've been doing go out, yeah.
Third walk for Grace out of the bullpen.
Out's the big one.
Gave up a 2 RBI triple to Evans. Sack fly.
It was 4 balls.
But this is the first time he is dealing with multiple of his own inherited base runners, apart from getting out of the jam with 2 away in the previous inning. And there is going to be a conference out on the mound. Will it be the change? Heading out there to talk to the man out there is Austin Vakeener, the senior out of Haines City, Florida. This time it's a veteran helping out the youngster, trying to work his way out of trouble. It reminds me of that mechanic you can use when playing Power Pros on Icon 9, where you send one of your players out there to give your team's pitcher a rating boost. And we'll see if the advice from the senior Vakeener can work out. By the way, Vakeener, 8 outings, 1 start this season, and a 1-0 record. Very tough BABIP luck, though. 383 average surrendered. First pitch to Soto. Squares up for ball 1. But notably, it looks like Soto's going to try to lay a bunt down. And he's got the speed to beat out a throw. Can the Warner defense keep up once it's put in play? We'll see if Torres and Dunn charge forwards. They're ready to do so. Soto pulls back for a strike. Doubled in the first, advanced to third on a throwing error, which brought home a run, but he doesn't get hit with the RBI on the play. Soto continuing. Ripped to third, but it bounces off the glove. Torres Gonzalez almost made a great catch. Tampa will take a 9-7 lead. You got a feel for Torres Gonzalez. It's hard to get a catch on those tough line drives. That'll certainly be the 7th hit of the day for the Spartans. No error, and will be a clean RBI for Javi Soto. I think it would be a very unfair error on Torres Gonzalez. He did almost everything you needed to on that play. Pereira against Grace. He'll square up. He'll pull away. Ball 1. Each of Pereira's at-bats have reached 3-ball counts. It was a 3-2 ground out in his first try to end the first inning, and it was a 4-pitch walk in the third inning. This time, just clips the top of the zone, 1-1. Pereira didn't like the look of that offering, so he pulled back, but it actually did hit the plate. Infield is going to be ready. Tampa once again just trying to advance the runners. This time Pereira takes high, ball 2. Popped up. Dunn gives chase. And it's going to fall out of play. 2-2. Time called, and it'll be Pereira against Grace as we are ready to continue. Popped up. Third baseman comes in. It's an infield flyout. 1 away. So even if it was dropped, there would be no change on the outcome. And Luke Fikar almost gets hit as that one goes in the dirt. Make it 1-0. He walked last time. That one hits the zone though, 1-1. Grace has given up 2 walks, but even in those at-bats, he's been able to try to keep battling in terms of these plate appearances. In the dirt again. 2-1. Feels like those bounces are getting dangerously close to hitting off of Fikar. Fikar might need an outing out of the bullpen, actually, if the game stays pretty close. Tampa has gone back up to a 2-run lead. Only 1 out so far in the inning. Popped up again. Won't be an infield fly out this time. It will be caught, though, for round number 2. The runner could have tagged up and advanced. Weak contact left and right now from Grace. And all he needs is to retire Ponce to complete a full trip through the Spartans' order and get out of the jam. Ball 1, missing low to Ponce. Swing and a miss, 1-1. No chance for a sac fly this time. Ponce will need a good outing to keep the inning going here. Grace calls time as we continue the bottom of the 4th. Hit up the middle. Picked up at short. They will get the force to end the inning. Close play on the run to the bag, but they get it in time. 2 are stranded after those 2 opening walks. Grace battles well to give up just 1 run and keep Warner in the fight. 9-7 through 4 innings played.
Hitting for Tampa, they have 1 run on 1 hit, with no errors, 2 back. They need a 4.
Yeah.
Tampa building its lead, 9-7.
And we're officially ready to go for the brand new inning. Top of the 5th, Drouin stays in the game after getting out of the jam previously. Tipped it to the glove, strike 1 on the swing and a miss. Smith, Torres Gonzalez, Puce due up. Came off the bench as pinch hitters, stayed in the game on defense. Drouin hoping to keep Tampa's bullpen on track during this bullpen outing after 2 of their relievers got chased out of the previous frame. God, I'm looking, strike 3. Ever since entering out of the bullpen, Drouin's looked good. He gave up a single to start, but then was able to get out of the jam thanks to a failed double steal. 1 away now to Torres Gonzalez. Strike 1. 4 straight strikes to start the frame. The opposite of what Lash had been able to do previously. He went around, strike 2. Close call, they needed to check with the other umpire. Just up high, 1-2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the frame. And if not for that previous missed pitch, Drouin would be in line for an immaculate inning. He's got 2 straight strikeouts to start the frame.
Now batting number 12, Ethan Hughes.
Hughes, who'd stayed in the game in center, is ready to go. This pop fly would have headed to center if it had a bit more juice. Instead, it's in range for Woodburn for out number 3. 1 ball and a total of 7 strikes A great frame from Duran to keep Tampa in front, 8-7. On to the bottom of the fifth.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah. See that? Bottom of the fifth.
Now on the mound, it's the freshman Cooper Hamilton out of Lakeland, Florida. Cooper Hamilton's favorite quote comes from the Batman franchise. Why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up. And you know, that's great advice for Hamilton to take into his second career collegiate outing. He took on Oklahoma Wesleyan to start the season, and in what was a pretty big loss for Warner, he and another reliever both were unable to pick up an out in their lone innings pitched. Gave up 3 earned with a walk and a hit, and I believe a hit batter in that lone appearance. Yes, 2 hit batters actually. But a new frame for Hamilton as he misses inside for ball 1. He'll take on the top of the Spartans order, including Jordan Evans, Braden Woodburn, and Gunnar Carlson. Race's day is done after 1 2/3. Couldn't strike anyone out, but had some very clutch pitching, holding Tampa to just 1 run. 2-0 to Evans. Like his teammate, he's also a big fan of playing pickleball off the baseball field. As the count goes 2-1, I haven't been to the Warner campus, but I wonder if they've got a nice pickleball court for players to go to and enjoy playing against each other. 9-7 Spartans lead. And Evans once again with a deep fly ball. Going to be tough to field in foul territory. The shortstop falls and makes the play. 1 away. Those have been rough balls to get to all night for the Warner defense. They'll come out without number 1, though. Slider missing low. Ball 1 to Braden Woodburn. Inside, ball 2. Woodburn's had a productive play every single plate appearance. RBI triple, RBI sac fly, and a 5-pitch walk. He'll be up 3-0 now. Cooper Hamilton was able to battle out at the 2-0 count against Evans. Can he escape a 3-0 count against Woodburn? Well, he's going to get strike 1. Make it 3-1 to the Spartan second baseman. Woodburn, the senior, out of Winter Springs.
Getting a ring, Ricardo? What?
two-time national champion, ready to continue.
You get 3?
Driven into right center field in range for Hughes. He'll make the catch. 2 away. So, 2 quick outs for Cooper Hamilton, looking to conclude his first collegiate inning in terms of completed collegiate innings. He's got the lefty with an impressive walk rate to face off against. 1 for 2 day. Carlson had a sac fly last time. We're back in the first. Ball 1. One and one. Good slider there, tagging the zone. Hit up the middle, out of reach of the pitcher. The shortstop playing the heavy shift finds that one to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. And after a tough opening day, Cooper Hamilton rallies against one of the strongest D2 teams in the nation for 3 straight outs. That is what you call picking yourself back up. Tampa still leads 9-7, entering the top of the 6th. Drowan returns for the Spartans, and it makes sense. He's been very consistent with his 1 1/3 on the mound. 2 strikeouts and a pop out. It'll be done. Blanco and Oliveira due up as we continue. Well, it's your last chance for the short term to see Tampa at home, but don't worry, the Spartans will be back here very shortly. April 3rd, 4th, 3 games against the Mocs. And then on Tuesday the 7th, it's throwback night as Valdosta State comes to town. Tampa will then have 2 more road trips before the end of the month. Our strikeout cancer day on Saturday, April 25th, concludes a weekend series against the Panthers. Evans out, McCaffrey in, Soto moves to center. A defensive change for the Spartans as the count goes 1-0.
Should play defense. He's a midfielder. He's like, the type of midfielder.
Make it 1-1 now. Drowan opening the inning against Timothy Dunn.
Really?
Bases clearing double with the bases loaded in the previous inning. Dunn did get caught out on a double steal attempt, but I love the aggression on the base path out of Coach Rouse. Strike 1. Strike 2.
My teacher said that I need
Slider missing outside. Drowan continuing. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Timothy Dunn. Hit foul, 2-2. By the way, Tampa had a celebrity come to town for our very first pitch. Jesse James West, a fitness YouTuber with over 8 million subscribers, threw our ceremonial first pitch, and he didn't have a bad curveball, I've got to say. Almost hit his spot. It was a little outside, but as first pitches go, his wasn't too bad. Strikeout number 3 for Drowan gets him with a high heater. West was also able to tour our fitness building on campus and get some workouts with some of our students and athletes. I'd imagine he'll be making a YouTube video about that soon. Pretty cool to have him on campus for tonight's game. But I know he and other Spartans fans will probably be a little bit disappointed about the defense in the top of the fourth. Potentially, though, pretty happy about how Tampa's offense has been doing. They still lead 9-7. Ball 1 from Drowan DeBlanco. Frame that fastball. Good work by Pereira, 1-1. Blanco went out on the first pitch on both of his at-bats, but now a more patient approach against Drowan. Foul back, 1-2. At least aren't the games I've covered. That previous inning was the first time all season Tampa has had the entire lineup bat around the order. Actually, it did happen one other time. Unsurprisingly, it was that 8th inning against Davenport that saw Tampa surrender 6. Hit to third. Throw across the diamond for Fiker in time for out number 2. Six straight outs for Drowan on the mound. The 1 out to end that lengthy 4th inning. 3 straight here in the 5th, and now 2 straight in the 6th. Could be Drowan's strongest outing of the season so far if he can close the door. Pick up a hold. Ball 1. I believe it'll be Velasquez in line for the win. Lash did not complete an out, so I believe he won't be in line for the win after relieving the starter Tobin Moran. Make it 1-1. Oliveira replacing Rodriguez. Some interesting changes out of the Warner defense. I wonder if they were due to the defensive miscues from earlier on the day. 1-2 now. Swing and a miss. Got him looking. Strike 3 on the inside corner. 4 strikeouts over 2 1/3 for Drowan. He is heating up, and Tampa's defense is back to normal as we complete 5.5. Tampa looking to extend their 2-run lead in the bottom of the 6th. So it'll be the number 27 continuing Cooper Hamilton out there on the mound. Let's see how the freshman can do against the heart of the Spartans order, Irigoyen, Books, and Soto. He had a 1-2-3 inning against the top of the Spartans order last time. That's also a trio you could call the heart of an order. In range and caught by the first baseman, a first pitch fly out. Done, good range out into the bullpen. One away. And that will bring up Jake Books. That'll miss inside for ball one. Books with a deep fly to right. That is caught on the run at the warning track by Figueroa. 2 away. There were some noises out of the crowd. They were hoping they could get the light show going, but Books does not go yard. 5 straight outs from Hamilton, who was looking for a perfect outing out of the pen. Just needs to retire Soto to do just that. Ball one. One and one. After the first pitch ball, he finds the zone.
He was just doing our left. No, he only did one, like, circuit.
1 and 2.
Yeah, he did sail.
2 a day for Soto. Doesn't exactly match the Evans 2 triple day, as he has been replaced,
Yeah, we all had to, like, sign.
but a pretty solid outing so far. With Soto and Evans combining for 5 hits, but not this time. First collegiate strikeout for Hamilton. Saved that baseball. They actually, I think, left it on the mound, unless that's the rosin bag. We've played 6 full, and after an explosion of offense from the 3rd to the 4th, with 11 runs coming home combined, Tampa just holds on to a 9-7 lead, entering the top of the 7th. Kenny Robinson gets a chance for the Spartans. He'll also be in a hold situation for the Tampa bullpen. On the year, he has fanned 10 in 6 innings, 5 walks allowed in that span. He's also plunked 3 batters and given up 8 earned. But this is a great chance for Robinson to rebound as we get underway. Robinson had a clean inning against Palm Beach last Friday, striking out 2 to end the game. He also was able to retire 2 pinch hitters in that appearance. He'll take on Garcia, Figueroa, and Swarbrick in the top of the 7th. Things speeding up after a very lengthy 4th inning that Warner has got to be ecstatic about. For Coach Urso, it'll be one of the worst innings of the Spartan season. But for the Royals, it's their offense waking up, and as they continue conference play this weekend, even a loss the rest of the way today, that inning is something that can give them a lot of momentum for their upcoming series against Florida Memorial.
Designated hitter Dave Garcia.
We continue with Garcia, who singled back in the fourth, struck out in his first 2 tries against Moran. Strike 1. Moran not in line for the win because of how long his outing went. Almost had the lead surrendered from that 4th inning. And on a day where Urso wanted the Spartans relievers to kind of solidify themselves as more consistent options, the mission not accomplished at the moment. But the night is still young. Beautiful Tampa night sky in the background of our stadium. When our camera pans to center field, you can see some of the buildings out there. As that one's going to be chopped to third base. Tough play for Fiker. Fiker picks it up and gets the throw in time. 1 down. Jack Ike mentioned down the center field line right behind the batter's eye, there's a new building getting constructed.
Right fielder Denzel.
The question is, what is that building going to be for? Will it be for business? Maybe more residence buildings for Tampa residents or even students? For now, it'll be Figueroa back at the plate. 1 down in the top of the 7th. Chopped foul, strike 1. Robinson's a junior out of St. Petersburg. Came out of Eastern Florida State. High ERA last year, but has some promising stuff. 37 strikeouts in 32 innings last year. 0-1 now from Kenny Robinson. Just missing inside. Cade Drohan got the job done by closing up shop. 2 1/3 innings. That 1 single allowed. He then retired 7 straight batters with 4 strikeouts. One and 2. That one's going to miss. 2-2. Payoff pitch is on the way. After that ball 3, this will be the true payoff pitch. Miles just 1 ball behind. Hit foul, still 3-2. Swing and a miss. Nice pitching from Robinson to get the full count K. And Swarbrick up with 2 away. It is 10 straight outs, or 9 straight outs for the Spartans, counting the caught stealing to end the 4th inning. And Robinson looking to keep that streak going. First pitch to Swarbrick. Close. Pereira tried to frame that a little too much, ball 1. Just outside with a fastball, 2-0. On the ground at third. Fiker's throw in time, on target. He's always been consistent out of the bullpen, but this time helping a fellow bullpen reliever with 2 of the 3 outs. Fiker and Robinson combine for a clean inning. On to the lucky 7th. Stretch time in Tampa, 9-7 Spartans. Staying out of the bullpen, Hamilton going for a 3rd inning on the mound. He has been very nice out of the bullpen so far for Warner today. Just 19 pitches. He's only needed 11 strikes. He even picks up the first K of the day for the Warner pitching staff. Can he stay perfect against Pereira, Fiker, and Ponce? I'm Taylor Storthy. Welcome back to the SSC Digital Network. And here comes Pereira. Walked last time and couldn't convert in a tight spot back in the 4th. That one misses to hit Pereira. And that'll give Tampa their first base runner against Hamilton, as that might get someone stretching and tossing as Fiker steps up to the plate. Bunt gets down. Will be a close play at first, and it's bobbled by Hamilton. He can't make a clean transfer. Successful sacrifice, and I'd imagine that'll be an error on Hamilton as it falls out of his glove. 2 on for Ponce. I think he'll do the same to try to advance the runners. They're not going to call the error on the pitcher despite the bobble. It'll be a hit for Fiker. His first hit of the day. Good hustle. Everyone running as they expect the bunt as the count goes 1-0. You saw the shortstop running to cover 3rd. The corners crashing in. The second baseman ready to cover 1st. And that first pitch missed nonetheless to Ponce. I expect the Warner defense to be running again. As I'd imagine, the call is the same. Ponce to lay down a sacrifice. He'll take up high, ball 2. This time, Ponce just keeps the bat on his shoulder. The infield non-motion this time, make it ball 3. Pulls back just to avoid the strike. So will Ponce trying to square up again? Hamilton's going to have to challenge him. He doesn't want to walk the bases loaded, especially with no outs. Pulls back for a strike, and that is the right move for Ponce. Let him walk you in that spot, if you will. Now do the infield try to aggressively cover the bases again?
Probably 8:45.
They've stayed still recently, and it looks like they're staying still once more.
9.
This time, Ponce lays it down the third base line. Played to perfection. Ponce beats the throw. Not enough time for Torres Gonzalez to get it back to first. They didn't crash the infield, and it didn't pay off for them. A well-worked full count at bat, almost full count at bat for Ponce, and it's a bunt single back-to-back that gets him loaded for Dennis McCaffrey. Last time McCaffrey came on as a pinch hitter, keep in mind today he's a pinch fielder, he laid down a squeeze bunt. He'll take strike one. I knew it was a successful squeeze for McCaffrey. He was out at first, but brought home a run, getting the job done for the Spartans. Will he be swinging away? McCaffrey fouls this one off to 0-2. The sophomore out of Cranford, New Jersey, has had some clutch home runs in his career back in high school. He walked off his dad's 500th career win. No walk-off opportunity right here, but a salami would really extend the Spartans' lead. Still 0-2. Braden Woodburn's on deck as well. You imagine with this close of a game, you won't see any other changes outside of Evans. Down to the dirt, great block there by Blanco, 1-2. So after a clean previous 2 innings out of Hamilton, including his first collegiate K, Tampa have worked the bases loaded with some bunt singles after a leadoff hit by pitch. 2 strikes to McCaffrey, he won't be squeezing it again. Flares that one to deep right field. Figueroa stays under it. And his throw will keep runners at the corners. It's 10-7 Tampa. Successful sacrifice for McCaffrey. And Tampa scores their first run against Hamilton to bring up Woodburn. And even though the run has come home, it's not a bad out to surrender if you're Hamilton, because it gets you one step closer to retiring the side. His second time facing Woodburn, he forced a pop out of him back in the 5th. First pitch. Hit into the gap. A lot of carry, but it will land at the warning track and make it 11-7 Spartans. That is the 4th sack fly of the game for Tampa. They just had 18 on the season. 4 today. 2 away now. And off the bench, it'll be Jake Turr. We'll see who the defensive replacement is at first base. Whether Turr stays in the game or not is going to be a question. Small lead for Ponce, but he stays put, ball 1. So the lucky 7 is indeed lucky today for the Spartans, putting 2 on the board. But can they keep it going? Quick pickoff throw, Ponce is safe. Spartans scored 3 against PBA in the lucky 7th yesterday. It extended a 4-3 lead to a 7-3 lead. Tampa then turned that to 11-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Tampa started that game trailing 3-0 and rallied back to win. That's going to get through the hole and will put runners at the corners. Turr stays put as Ponce avoids the tag. Turr is going to get to second as that ball's dropped by the third baseman. Good hustle by Ponce and a close relay from Figueroa. And I think it will be an error put on either Figueroa or Torres Gonzalez at third. Irigoyen in scoring position with 2 away. Runners at second and third after the single by Tur off the bench. Swing and a miss, strike one for Irigoyen. Tur's consistency off the bench has continued now. He has had 6 hits and 16 tries on the season. The Swiss Army knife for Tampa converts. No error called on the throw. Tur just advancing on his own on the single. Checked swing, popped foul by Irigoyen, make it 2 strikes. No hits today for Irigoyen. He came alive with 3 hits on the doubleheader Game 2 on Saturday. Can he come alive right here? Ball 1, good take outside. Blanco has to be wary of Ponce at third. If a ball slips by him, it's going to be 12-7 Spartans. Warner want it to stay close enough. They know they can get a big inning like they did back in the 4th, but they've been kept off the bases since. Fouled. Is it in range? No. Still 2 strikes, 1 ball to Irigoyen. Hit to second. First baseman covering. It's a late throw because he wasn't there at first, but just had enough time to beat Irigoyen, and the inning's over. 3 hits, score 2. It's a lucky 7th for the Spartans, and while 2 are stranded, they'll give themselves a little extra cushion onto the top of the 8th. Kenny Robinson to keep going out of the bullpen when we come back. Kenny Robinson continues, already picking up a hold in the previous inning. If he stays until the 9th, he'd be in line for the save. Not just because he entered in a save situation, but 3 innings out of the bullpen get you the save automatically if you're the final pitcher. But for now, he'll have to keep things quiet at the top of the 8th. Smith, Torres-Gonzalez, Pews, 2 up. You already saw 2 changes out of the Warner offense. Wonder if they'll make any late ones too. Strike 1. Smith had an RBI single. Also went down looking in the 2nd and 5th. He was the leadoff man against Drouin in that 5th inning. Saw 3 straight strikes. We'll see a second one in a row right here. Make it 0-2. Just missing 1 and 2. So we'll avoid going down looking, at least right now, for the 2nd straight time. Tampa up 11-7 against Warner. Swing and a miss. This time gets him swinging. Third strikeout of the game for Smith to bring up Adriel Torres Gonzalez.
Batting is the third baseman, Adriel Torres-Gonzalez.
Earlier in the day, he couldn't come up with a tough ball hit to him at third base. A line drive that bounced off of him and rolled into the outfield. Ball one, missing. Close call. Robinson, if he had the opportunity, might have wanted an ABS challenge there. Kind of saw him tilt his head. But hey, you can't fight City Hall here in D2. 2-0 now to Hughes. This time gets the call. 2-1. Hughes on deck. Gonzalez at the plate. Strike two. Down low, went with a breaking ball, and it just falls short of the plate. Full count with Hughes on deck. Will Gonzalez offer a swing right here? Nope, ball four. If he did give a swing, he would be hustling to first on a drop third strike. First walk for Robinson out of the bullpen. First base runner given up for Robinson out of the bullpen. First base runner for Warner since the fourth. One out for Hughes. Robinson ready to go. That one just missing the corner, 1-0. Right outside, 2-0 now. Tampa's up by 4, but if Robinson stays in a bit of trouble, they might need to make a swap to a higher leverage guy right here. Two and one. This time it's his own. Three and one now. Strike two right on the corner. Hughes was ready for ball four, but he got moving just a little too early. Payoff pitch on the way. They'll send the runner as it misses inside and puts a second on board with one out. Lengthy outing for Robinson continues. Do we see Sam talk things over right here? He's got some instructions over to the Spartans bullpen as they finish up a warm-up. BJ Bailey was down there, I think, helping someone out. As that is going to be curtains for Kenny Robinson. He had a great day out of the bullpen, but maybe ran out of gas here to start the inning. 2 will be left on base after 2 walks and his second strikeout. Double play will get the Spartans out of the jam. We'll see who can get that when we return. Out of the bullpen for the Spartans, it'll be Oscar Hernandez. Before we talk about Hernandez, though, I would like to talk about the man at the plate, Timothy Dunn. Dunn is a senior out of Land Lakes, Florida, and his player profile has his average stuff. It's got his yearly stats. It actually also has his favorite Bible verse, which is Matthew 19:26. With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. That's an awesome quote. But notably, it also lists his birth date, June 12th, question mark, question mark. He's a senior, and they haven't been able to find his birth year in 4 years. Or 2 years technically. He transferred out of Pasco Hernando State after the 2024 season. So, that's interesting. You don't always see 2 question marks randomly on a player profile. Dunn converted the bases clearing double in the 4th. He struck out last time, and they'll have 2 base runners here in the top of the 8th. He'll take on Oscar Hernandez. Hernandez, a 4.85 ERA. He has struck out 14 in 13 innings. Robinson picks up the hole. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 1 1/3 pitched. And as he got into a little bit of trouble, Tampa electing to go to the bullpen. So a high leverage spot for Robinson as Hernandez, as he tries to solidify himself maybe as a higher leverage bullpen arm for Tampa. That's what a lot of the bullpen guys today are trying to do, is the count will go 1-0 to Dunn. And so far, I think Drowan and Robinson have pretty much succeeded on that quest. But the consistency still evading Velasquez and Lash. Right on the corner, but ball 2. Notably, again, Velasquez did strike out the side to end the previous game. And out of the lefty options out of the bullpen, he's still been super consistent. But just a rare off day again for the junior. This time gets the zone. First strike out of the bullpen for Hernandez. Tying run is in the bat of the 31, not Blanco. They're going with a pinch hitter here. That guy would be Dawson Schumann. And as long as there's no double play, the Royals will get him to the plate. That one hit foul. Could have been in range for a double play ball. Make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good hustle out of Gonzalez and Hughes on the base path naturally. This team very aggressive. I think that's a really good quality to have if you're a bit of an underdog side. Trying to deal damage on the base path whenever possible. Popped up will be an infield fly rule called. So even if that one's dropped at first by Vanacek, it'll be out number 2. And yep, I do need to specify it is Vanacek in the game at first, replacing Jake Turr, who has not stayed in the game.
Pitch hitting is number 31, Dawson Schumann.
After Turr's pinch hit single, Vanacek playing his primary position with the Spartans over at first. And Schumann off the bench is ready to go for Warner. Strike 1. 204 on the season. He has picked up 4 RBIs, 7 walks as well, and 49 at-bats. 15 starts on the year for him, too. 0-1 for Hernandez. He's had one of the 2 outs he needs. Small jump, but the runners stay put 1-1. See them take those little steps off the bag, I think maybe to try to mess up the motion for the pitcher and catcher. Hit to short, would have been a double play ball, but they'll just get the force to end the inning. So Hernandez puts out the fire. He'll pick up the hold, as despite 2 walks, Warner strand 2. Tampa have one more chance to extend their lead when we come back. So we're back in the bottom of the 8th, and Hamilton will have the chance to end the day for Warner. This lengthy outing out of the bullpen could potentially make him a spot starter, or maybe even set him up for future starts in the future for the Royals. But he's been doing a good job of keeping things close after Warner closed the gap. He did give up 3 hits and 2 runs in the previous frame, but that's all the damage Tam has mustered against him, with 2 runnerless innings in the middle. 11-7 Spartans on the SSE Digital Network. Tampa will continue play this weekend on the road, ending what has been a multi-week homestand. Jake Brooks would like to send the home fans happy in his final at-bat at the plate at the game. Warner do have more out-of-conference play coming up. On the April 3rd weekend, they'll have a 3-game set against the University of Fort Lauderdale, traveling to take on the Eagles in a 3-game set as the count goes 1-0. But afterwards, it's Sun Conference play the rest of the way. Inside 2-0, and again, we want to thank Warner to come into town to Tampa. Always great to have these exhibition matchups. Well, not exhibition matchups, they count for the records, but these intra-division matchups, that's what I was trying to say. And Warner has played really well up to the Spartans level with that 7-run 4th inning. And they have been able to keep things quiet on the defensive end as of late as the count goes 2-1 the Books. Books flew out in his first try against Hamilton. And he'll take one the other way. The infield was shifted, but not the outfield. Oliveira doesn't have to go far. 1 down. And now that the sun isn't messing with the ball, you've seen more consistency and clean fielding out of the Warner infield. That is definitely something that is relieving for Coach Rouse after a lot of tough plays to start that game. Plays that might have actually cost Warner if you think about it. Given how close it's gotten, if you have 1 or 2 of those better balls get fielded as the count goes 0-1, it could be the Royals in the lead. Soto continues at the plate. He's singled and doubled. He's had a 2-hit day so far. And on the corner, but ball 1. Soto back level. Pereira on deck. Looks like they'll be keeping him in. You only have seen 2 changes at the plate. Caffrey replacing Evans. And Turr pinch hitting for Carlson. 2 strikes now to Soto with 1 out.
Yeah, he's the club team.
Deep fly ball from Soto. Should be in range for Hughes, as that'll fall just before the warning track. Nick Pereira, 2 outs now. You can't see the stars in the Tampa night sky. The buildings take up too much light in the background. But day has turned tonight here on campus at U Tampa. And after a lot of March Madness activities, got the town and city excited over the weekend as the count goes 1-0. The aftermath, not really too actively felt to start the work week. But there have been some fireworks here today at the Birdcage. 1-0 to Pereira. Tipped 1-1. Pereira got plunked last time. He was the first base runner. Then Hamilton surrendered. Hamilton would then give up a few more hits as Pereira talks things over with Goldrup, who's the new catcher for Warner. Blanco was replaced with a pinch hitter previously. Pereira to deep left field. If that's fair, that is caught. No, it's out of reach of left field. Oliveira can't get to the ball. He just outran it by a couple steps. Make it a 2-out double for Pereira, unless that's called a second error. I don't think it will. 11 hits now for Tampa. Fiker has a runner most of the way home. Question is, do you bring Fiker in for the ninth? Well, Tampa's up by 4, so it wouldn't be a safe situation. But if they did pick up a safe situation, maybe they do. First pitch on the way. Inside, ball 1 to Fiker. Singled last time up. He was 0 for 2 with a walk against Almanzar and Grace. Tough day for Almanzar. Better outing for Grace. Great outing for Hamilton in terms of the Warner pitching. Oof. Curveball missing inside. Good job ducking out of the way for Fiker. And we continue with a 2-0. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Spartan sports will be active here this weekend, just not baseball. Friday night sees Embry-Riddle and Tampa softball face off. And on Saturday, men's and women's lacrosse will be active. Tampa women's lacrosse at home against Florida Tech. 2-2 to Fiker. Saturday we'll have a softball doubleheader at the Vince Namoli family softball field. And they actually are going to call that an error by the left fielder on the previous play. Fiker to right. Crashing in is Figueroa. But he'll make the catch and end the inning. And it's 4 innings of just 2-run ball out of Hamilton. Stellar work out of the bullpen. Keeping people healthy for the Royals. And against the second best team in D2, that is a way you recover. That is a way you pick yourself up after falling. We're on to the top of the ninth. Last chance saloon. Hernandez will try to close the door. So a pretty active night here at the U Tampa ballpark. From Jesse James West, the fitness YouTuber, coming to town to throw our first pitch and visit our excellent athletic facilities. Do keep an eye out for his TikTok and YouTube pages. I'd imagine he'll have a couple of videos from his time at U Tampa. I wonder if he was able to get a replay of his first pitch, which wasn't a bad curveball, I might add. And then, of course, the game itself, delivering a lot of fun here on Country Night. A lot of offense from the Spartans, a 7-run inning from the Royals, and they're hoping for a little 8-game magic against Oscar Hernandez for the top of the ninth.
Should be, because if they are losing.
Oliveira, Garcia, Figueroa due up for Warner. Swing and a miss.
As long as they don't go up, then this should be good. They have to beat us. Don't go up.
Hernandez on the corner, strike 2. Slider breaking across the plate. We'll see if Garcia stays in or if there's another swap for the Warner offense. And it's down low. Great take there by Oliveira. Off the bench, he started with a walk. He went down looking. He is 0 for 1, but did reach base the last time. Ooh, that one misses inside and hits him in the chest. There's a quick nod from Hernandez, a bit of an I'm sorry acknowledgement there. And you're not trying to plunk him there with 2 strikes. Tough one there, but it does give him a base runner. It'll take 2 more batters to reach the tying run, though, for Warner. They'll need to chain something quickly together. Crazier things have happened. Garcia 1 for 4. His lone hit came in that lengthy 4th inning. Both batters who had 2 chances in the 4th inning got on base. Figueroa and Swarbrick. Smith's second at bat of the 4th inning was interrupted with the double steal. Ball 1. Tampa have stranded 8 on the base path. There have been 9 left on board for Warner. Or 6 left on for Warner. And that'll be out number 1 on a pop fly to short. Almost dropped, but Ponce got back in time. Well, there would be 6 left on for Warner if they can't bring the runner home from first. So we'll have to wait and see. For now, it's Figueroa once more. Walked and singled in his 2 tries in the 4th. Flew out and struck out in the 1st and 7th. He'll take low inside for ball 1. And I wouldn't be surprised if Figueroa keeps taking a lot of those pitches inside. You either want to get him low and away or inside for a weak swing. You'd love a double play if you're Hernandez. And that time missing outside, it's 2-0. A 2-game win streak on the line for the Royals. Playing up to the Spartans level and having that inning is going to feel close to a win if you're Warner, even if they do end up with the loss today. That'll be a second strike unless the catch is made. That's out of reach. Fiker couldn't find it. It was also dangerously close to the netting. 2-1. Warner have an even 8-7 record home and away this season. One of those records, that road record, could get dropped to 500. On the ground at first. Vanacek will keep an eye on the runner at second as he gets out number 2. Didn't have time for a throw to try to turn to, so just a smart play.
The batter is the second baseman, J.D. Swarbrick.
Swarbrick, 2 outs. Runner halfway home to try to cut the deficit 3. Can Hernandez escape with just that hit by pitch surrendered in 1 2/3? Or can Warner make things a little bit spicy to close the game? Ball 1. Two and 0 now. Hernandez checks the runner. They're not actively holding him. And he'll find the zone. It's about to do a 2-1 count. That's the count where he forced the ground out from Figueroa. And it'll be ball 3. The tying run could move from the dugout to the on-deck circle if Patty Smith steps up to the plate. It all comes down to the 3-1 on the way to Swarbrick. Swing and a miss, and that'll bring the count full for Swarbrick. Fastball from Hernandez getting a big miss. Now this is a spot where you don't send the runner, even with 2 outs, because a quick turn on ball 4 would get the runner out at third. Speaking of, that one's fielded to Fiker. He'll check on the runner and fire across the diamond. Vanacek makes the tag as he's pulled off the bag. Spartans win. So Tampa has a bit of a scare in that fourth inning. Flashbacks to the Davenport game where they surrendered 6 en route to a loss. But they held the magic number 8 and hold on to win 11-7. Tobin Moran with the start. A clean outing as he preps for some high-leverage bullpen duty. And despite some hiccups, Drouin, Robinson, and Hernandez get holds to close the door. And the win on the day goes to Josiah Velasquez, who gets his first win of the season, improving to a 1-1 record. He got the first out of the fourth inning, where Moran wasn't eligible for the win, so he's the next eligible pitcher. While the loss gets handed to Almanzar to open 2026 in the L column. But for your first game out of injury, going up against Tampa, the defending 2-time in a row D2 champions, that's not half bad. And that fourth inning should give them some momentum to take back into Sun Conference play. For Tampa, 11 runs is always good as they'll continue Sunshine State Conference play this weekend. Thanks for coming to town, Warner. Best of luck on your NAIA travels. And unlike other D2 foes that come to town, you actually can wish that you end up as your division champions, because you guys wouldn't be facing Tampa in the playoffs. So Warner will be active this weekend. Tampa will be active this weekend. However, it's going to be about a week before you get to see the Spartans at home again for the most famous rivalry in SSC play. Florida Southern and Tampa at the Birdcage in April. I'm Taylor Storthy signing off for the month of March for Spartan Baseball. Tampa improves to 23-4, 11-7, a Monday night W.